Hey you guys. So in this video, it's gonna be a little bit different than some of the other videos that I've done. I'm basically going to be talking about both NFL and MLB news, everything that's happened the last week. I also promise that this video is gonna be a lot better than my last video. I'm gonna be a lot more happy and upbeat. If you haven't checked out my last video, please go ahead and check it out. It's about the new Chargers coach, Brandon Staley, and what I think about him and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm first going to be talking about NFL news, some of the new NFL coaching hirings. So I'm first going to be talking about the new Jaguars head coach, Urban Meyer. I personally think the Jaguars hiring Urban Meyer is going to be a big plus for them. They're going to have the number one pick, which is probably going to be Trevor Lawrence, and then they have all this cap space. They have all this tax-free money down in Jacksonville, so I think that's going to really help them out a lot. And I'm curious to see who's going to be joining Urban Meyer's staff. So just kudos to the Jags for getting a really good hire in Urban Meyer. Hopefully his college coaching resume can translate to the NFL. The next coaching hire that happened was the Falcons hiring head coach Arthur Smith. I know he was the Titans offensive coordinator, and he did a pretty good job, especially the last couple years with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. So I think it's going to be really hard to see what the Falcons do with what they want to do, if they want to keep Julio Jones or if they want to keep Matt Ryan. It's kind of all up in the air right now. So hopefully they can give Matt Ryan and Julio one more year and see what this new coaching staff can do with them, and maybe they can be successful this time around. The next head coaching hiring that happened was the Jets getting the 49ers defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh, to me, I kind of wanted him to be a Chargers head coach. He was probably my fourth top candidate. I really liked him. He has really good leadership skills, just watching him on the sidelines and seeing him fired up during the 49ers games. And I think the Jets got a really good hire with him. The Jets have a good defense. I don't know what they're going to do with their offense. I don't know if they're going to keep Sam Darnold or not. Personally, I'm a USC fan, so I like Sam Darnold. They just need to really build around him. So hopefully, with that second pick, if they don't end up going with Justin Fields, they can get Devontae Smith and get a really good blockbuster wide receiver for Sam Darnold to throw to. I think Robert Saleh is going to do a great job with the Jets' defense. And they also hired Matt LaFleur's brother. I think his name's Mike LaFleur, and he's going to be running the offense. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see. So I'm really happy for the Jets, and hopefully Robert Saleh can kind of turn things around. The next coaching hire that I'm going to be talking about is, so it's allegedly, it's not set in stone yet, but the Lions are going after Dan Campbell, the tight ends coach for the Saints. So he's worked with guys like Jared Cook and then Taysom Hill, if you want to include him as a tight end. He's a Swiss Army knife. And he's a part of that Saints offense with Sean Payton, so he kind of has an idea what to do on offense. I'm kind of curious to see how he does. I know the Lions are just trying to figure out who's going to play quarterback for them, if they're going to retain Matthew Stafford, if they're not. And then, I don't know, what receivers they're going to keep. Are they going to let Marvin Jones walk? I know they have Kenny Golladay and TJ Hawkinson, so I'm just kind of curious to see how that goes. And, I think this is a good hire for the Lions. Hopefully, Campbell can do a good job for them. Last but not least, the Chargers' new head coach, Brandon Staley. Obviously, I talked about him a little bit in the video that I did before this. Now I'm thinking about it, he's a bright young defensive mind that the Chargers needed on defense because they have been struggling for years on defense. So I think this will be... at the end of the day, I think it'll be a good hiring because we need to beat the Chiefs, and the only way to do that is to build a stacked defense against them. And with hiring Staley, I think, defense does win championships. So I think having having a defensive-minded guy as a head coach isn't that big of a bad thing. The next NFL news that I'm going to be talking about is Drew Brees, man. Drew Brees is retiring. Drew Brees was excellent. I've personally seen Drew Brees play. Back in 2016 when the Saints played the then San Diego Chargers. I watched that game and he was pretty phenomenal. I've always loved Drew Brees growing up, just like the adversity he overcame with not being the tallest and biggest quarterback, but all the records he's broken, the most completions, most yards, off and on with Brady with most passing touchdowns, so that's pretty phenomenal. But yeah, just kudos to him, man. He had a great career. He won a Super Bowl with Sean Payton, and he's definitely going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer someday. In this portion of the video, I'm going to be talking about MLB news that happened, some of the recent free agent signings that happened. The first important signing that I saw was Archie Bradley going to the Phillies. The Phillies need a lot of bullpen help. I think they had statistically the worst bullpen in the history of baseball. So adding Archie Bradley will really help with their bullpen and trying to just secure and save wins for the Phillies. With they have a really good team. The Phillies do, with Bryce Harper, and hopefully they can sign JT Realmuto. And yeah, so I think adding Archie Bradley is really good for them. The next free agent signing that happened was DJ LeMahieu going back to the Yankees. He ended up signing a 6-year, $90 million contract. I think that's probably one of the most important free agent signings this offseason. DJ LeMahieu is a really good pure hitter for the Yankees, and just keeping him in your lineup, knowing that you have a solid hitter who's gonna consistently get you a hit, at least who's gonna get you a hit every 4 at bats. I think that's really good to have, and he's his defense is pretty good too. So I think the Yankees re-signing him and trying to figure out a way to keep him was really good. And yeah, I think it ended up working out for both sides. The Yankees also ended up getting Corey Kluber. I know he didn't really do good last year. He only pitched 1 inning for the Texas Rangers. And I know he had a private bullpen session to try and prove that that he still has the arm strength and the pitching arsenals that he has. And I think the Yankees did a really good job of trying to take a shot on him. I personally thought he was going to go to the Red Sox because the Red Sox need pitching help. But adding Corey Kluber to the Yankees rotation is going to really help them out a lot, because I think they only have James Paxton and Luis Severino and then Garrett Cole. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens nonetheless. So the last thing I'm going to be talking about is, so while I'm filming this video, this just happened. So the Padres again shocked the baseball world, and they ended up trading for another starting pitcher. So they ended up trading. They ended up completing a 3-team trade that involved the New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Padres in return got Joe Musgrove, and they traded away Joey Lucchesi to the Mets. So the Mets got Joey Lucchesi, the Padres got Joe Musgrove, and then in return the Pirates got a bunch of minor league prospects. So personally, I think again, I think this is a really good trade overall. It's not a super blockbuster kind of trade, but I think it ended up working out for both sides. So Padres get another good starting pitcher. They've honestly, like, I think it's official at this point. The Padres have the best starting pitching rotation in all of baseball. You can debate and disagree with me all you want, but like the Padres, they're gonna have the best pitching rotation in all of Major League Baseball. They're gonna have just this season alone. They're gonna have Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Nelson Lamet, Joe Musgrove, and then that fifth spot they could either go with Chris Paddock or they can go with Mackenzie Gore. So I think like this is just all around a good trade for everyone. The Mets get another left-handed pitcher to add to their rotation, so they'll end up having Jacob deGrom, Noah Syndergaard, Marcus Stroman, Joey Lucchesi, and then they're going to have Carlos Carrasco. So I think it ends up working out for both sides, all three sides too, and then like with the Pirates getting a bunch of minor league prospects, them trying to rebuild that organization. And yeah, so like me being a Padres fan, I'm super stoked. I'm super excited. I genuinely think the Padres are going to be a World Series contender this year. Like, you can save this video, whatever you want, but I genuinely think the Padres are going to go deep in the playoffs, and I think if they aren't going to make the World Series this year, then they're definitely going to do it next year because they'll have Mike Clevenger on top of the four top tier guys that they already have. So I'm super excited. I cannot wait. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I'm gonna try to make more videos like this. Where I talk both about baseball and football. Let me know if you guys like this kind of format. If not, then I'll just do like 2 separate videos next time. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this video, just talking about both NFL and MLB news. So thank you guys again for watching, and see you in the next vid.